I will bear unto you, as your liege man of life and limb. So help me God.
Hello, royal enthusiasts. Welcome back to our corner of the internet, where the twists and turns of the British crown keep us all on the edge of our seats. Today, we are unpacking a royal development that has sent shockwaves through both palaces and living rooms across the globe, just as the dust begins to settle from a high-profile international visit, and with concerns swirling about the health of a key royal figure. King Charles steps forward with words that appear to redefine the monarchy's future. We're talking about the extraordinary moment he spotlighted Catherine, the Princess of Wales, in a way that positioned her firmly in the spotlight as the next Queen Consort. This is not palace chatter or simple gossip. It is a striking pivot that suggests deeper currents within the royal system. Buckle up, because this story unravels layers of tradition, health battles, and deliberate strategic planning. And if you are hooked on royal sagas as much as we are, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to stay updated on every crown jewel of news. Let's set the stage. It is September 19th, 2025, and the world is still buzzing from President Donald Trump's state visit to the United Kingdom. The pomp and circumstance at Windsor Castle were on full display, with King Charles and Queen Camilla hosting the American leader in a glittering show of transatlantic unity. But behind the smiles and ceremonial handshakes, whispers had already begun about Camilla's recent health scare. Reports revealed that her condition, described officially as acute sinusitis, had forced her to withdraw from engagements, raising public questions about her ability to maintain royal responsibilities. Insiders portrayed a Queen Consort confronting far more than a seasonal ailment, with fatigue and a drawn-out recovery dominating the narrative. And then, like a thunderbolt, came Charles's address. Only his second major speech since taking the throne following the passing of Queen Elizabeth II in 2022. And framed against these unsettling health reports, it was not a routine update to the nation. It was a declaration, one that propelled Catherine into a role many had long anticipated, yet few expected to hear confirmed in such clear and forceful terms. From earlier concerns came reports of a status described internally as not good. This was not a simple cold, but a reminder of the physical toll on a 70-year-old consort. These leaks, amplified across tabloids and social media, created a growing storm of speculation. Would Camilla step back permanently? How would this affect Charles, who was still managing his own recovery? The palace's confirmation of her return for Trump's state visit calmed some fears, but the damage was done. It ignited questions of sustainability. Insiders revealed that Charles, ever a careful planner, saw this as a moment to reinforce the succession line. In his address, he praised Camilla's devotion while carefully pivoting to the next generation. By elevating Catherine's role, he offered reassurance that the monarchy's future was secure. This was not about sidelining Camilla, but about practical preparation. It showed vulnerability, yet also projected strength. With health leaks colliding with Trump's visit, a private issue transformed into a public pivot, making Catherine's path as consort feel not just inevitable, but imminent. Now to the heart of it, King Charles's address on September 19th, 2025. Broadcast from Buckingham Palace. It carried the solemn weight of his earlier post-ascension speeches, but with a sharper, forward-looking edge. He began by reflecting on the success of the Trump visit as proof of enduring alliances, then turned inward, acknowledging the heavy personal toll of duty. And then came the bombshell. As we look to the future, he declared, "I am strengthened by the steadfast support of my son William and his wife Catherine, who will one day serve this nation as King and Queen Consort." This explicit statement went far beyond implication. It was, in many ways, a coronation of intent. Charles expanded on Catherine's qualities, her compassion, her advocacy for mental health, her commitment to families, framing her as the perfect consort for a modern age. He tied her elevation to Camilla's struggles, subtly pointing to the need for renewed energy at the heart of the monarchy. Reactions came swiftly. Royal commentators hailed it as a thunderclap, an extraordinary glimpse into succession planning. By invoking his second speech since Elizabeth's passing, Charles bridged past and future, preserving continuity amid uncertainty. It was empowerment, placing Catherine firmly as the bridge to the next chapter. Since her marriage to William in 2011, she has evolved from a poised bride into a pillar of the monarchy. Her work in early childhood education, her championing of mental health initiatives, and her dedication to protecting her family's privacy have endeared her to millions. But this moment propelled her further, affirming her as Queen Consort in everything but title. Insiders described Catherine's response as one of quiet determination, with George, Charlotte, and Louis. She has balanced motherhood with ever-expanding duties, especially as Camilla's health faltered. During Trump's visit, her interactions with Melania Trump revealed her diplomatic grace, earning widespread praise. Charles's remarks validated this, highlighting how her warmth and composure will define her reign as consort. This shift also addressed broader royal challenges. With Charles and Camilla both facing health struggles, Catherine's elevation reassured the nation of stability. It was also a personal triumph. She herself had battled cancer in 2024 and emerged stronger, ready to embody the supportive yet influential role of consort. This announcement was not only about titles, it was about her embodying the monarchy's heart for the future. The response was immediate. Social media erupted in support for Catherine, with hashtags like #QueenCatherine trending worldwide. Commentators praised Charles's foresight, calling it a bold modernization. But not all voices agreed. Traditionalists worried it overshadowed Camilla, whose health struggles evoked deep sympathy. Politically, the timing after Trump's visit only magnified the effect. While American-UK trade deals on energy and AI dominated policy headlines, it was Charles's words that captured public imagination. Keeping the monarchy at the center of global attention, family dynamics shifted as well. William's role as heir grew heavier with Catherine by his side. More broadly, this move signaled a monarchy becoming leaner, more relatable, and focused on well-being rather than unrelenting duty. Critics questioned the haste, but supporters saw foresight and resilience as ripples spread from palace corridors to public forums. One truth became undeniable. Catherine's trajectory toward Queen Consort had been illuminated like never before. What was once a distant inevitability now appeared as a near reality. This pivotal moment, intricately tied to Trump's visit and Camilla's fragile health, will stand as a watershed in royal history. More than an announcement, it was a recalibration, a bridge from loss and struggle to a future defined by renewal. For Catherine, this marks the acceleration of her rise. We can expect to see a shift in her engagements, where she increasingly carries the consort's mantle, though without the crown just yet. Imagine her spearheading initiatives in mental health and family welfare, or expanding her early years' work nationwide. The Trump visit gave a glimpse of this potential, her poise with global leaders, her blend of protocol and warmth. Now, such moments will multiply, positioning her as the monarchy's most relatable ambassador, connecting ancient ritual to modern reality. Yet this is not only Catherine's journey, it ripples through the entire royal structure. William, the steadfast heir, now faces a more intense spotlight, with Catherine firmly at his side. Together, they represent the monarchy's resilience and institution, adapting to challenges yet again, charting a future where tradition and modernity stand hand in hand. His role amplified alongside hers. William's presence is no longer just that of a future monarch waiting in the wings. Instead, what we see now is a partnership evolving into a true dynamic duo, one that reshapes and even redefines what it means to prepare for kingship in the modern age. Gone are the days of rigid roles where one simply shadowed the other. Instead, William and Catherine present themselves as equals in strength, vision, and compassion. Sources close to the couple suggest that the coming years will bring joint ventures of unprecedented scale, initiatives that blend William's global environmental campaigns, such as the groundbreaking Earthshot Prize, with Catherine's deeply rooted focus on children's welfare and mental health. Together, these causes weave into a holistic vision of a Britain that is not only sustainable and innovative, but also profoundly compassionate. Imagine a future where saving the planet and saving childhood innocence are seen not as separate missions, but as two halves of the same crown. And let's not forget the young royals themselves. Their very existence embodies continuity and stability. Prince George, now on the cusp of adolescence, is stepping into a spotlight brighter than ever before. His education at Lambrook School offers him something unique, a grounded and relatively normal upbringing, counterbalancing the enormity of his destiny. Every football match he plays, every classroom presentation he gives, becomes part of this duality, an ordinary boy living an extraordinary life. Then there are Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. Equally central to this unfolding story, they too will grow up watching a monarchy that prioritizes balance, where family dinners at Adelaide Cottage or soon, perhaps, at the more expansive Forest Lodge coexist seamlessly with official state duties. This blending of the personal and the ceremonial might just inspire a new generation, proving that even those born to rule can still chase a semblance of normality amid all the grandeur. The broader canvas reveals a monarchy very much in flux, one that is consciously shedding the rigid carapace of outdated pomp in exchange for something sleeker, more resilient, and more aligned with the values of a 21st century public. The King's latest address, coming so swiftly after the leaks about Queen Camilla's health, underscores this pragmatic ethos. Vulnerability is no longer presented as weakness. It has instead become a catalyst for evolution. And speaking of Camilla, the Queen Consort herself, despite the whispers and cruel speculation that fueled tabloid frenzy during her recent health struggles, emerges in this moment not as a casualty but as a quiet architect of transition. Her graceful step back during recovery periods created a rare but necessary space for Catherine to shine. Yet, insiders stress that this is no retreat into irrelevance. Camilla is expected to continue in an advisory role, her decades of experience serving as a well of private counsel whispered from the wings. This is not a tale of rivalry or eclipse, but rather one of seamless handover, where the Queen Consort's role morphs from endurance test to empowered legacy-building. The health challenges Charles's ongoing management of his condition. Camilla's sinusitis saga have, paradoxically, humanized the Windsor. For once, the royal family is not seen as distant or untouchable, but rather as flesh and blood. Far from eroding the crown's mystique, this has fostered sympathy, and that sympathy has translated into renewed public support. Polls already reflect this shift. Approval ratings for the royal family have ticked upward since Charles's address, with younger demographics especially citing Catherine's authenticity and warmth as a key reason for their renewed faith. But of course, no royal pivot comes without shadows. Traditionalists within palace circles and across the Commonwealth mutter that accelerating Catherine's prominence risks diluting the mystique of succession. To them, this feels like tampering with sacred timelines, transforming what should be gradual rites into expedited headlines. And then came the Trump Visita spectacle, loaded with both symbolism and strain. It highlighted the monarchy's continuing diplomatic heft, reminding the world of Britain's unique soft power. But it also exposed the physical toll such engagements take on an aging institution, which leads to the question, what if Camilla's recovery falters further? Could whispers of an earlier abdication grow louder? Would William and Catherine be thrust into full royal leadership sooner than anyone had scripted? These are the undercurrents keeping palace watchers awake at night, fueling debates in drawing rooms and igniting endless speculation across online forums. And yet, despite all these uncertainties, the prevailing winds seem to blow toward optimism. By invoking his second national address in the long shadow of Queen Elizabeth II's enduring memory, Charles has woven a narrative of continuity, a golden thread that stitches past sacrifices to future triumphs. The message is unmistakable. The crown is not merely surviving, it is evolving, reshaping itself for an era that demands transparency, relatability, and resilience. Catherine, with her unassuming grace, her fierce maternal instinct, and her growing confidence on the world stage, embodies this renewal. She is no longer just the Duchess of Cambridge, nor even simply the Princess of Wales. She is a Queen Consort in waiting, who quietly whispers to the nation that duty can be performed not just with head, but with heart. Hers is a vision where the balcony waves at Trooping the Color feel less like staged performances and more like authentic partnerships with the nation. Even the details of domestic life underscore this transformation. Renovations at potential future homes like Forest Lodge, funded tellingly from private coffers. A conscious move to sidestep taxpayer burdens paint a picture of a family carving out space for authenticity amid pageantry. This may very well signal a new model of monarchy, slimmer in roster with fewer working members, yet deeper in impact. The focus would no longer be on sheer numbers, but on meaningful initiatives, campaigns addressing climate, equality, mental health, and well-being that resonate not just across Britain, but around the globe. Much like the UCAS agreements sealed during Trump's whirlwind tour, these efforts could mark the Windsors not only as figureheads, but as leaders of cultural and humanitarian relevance, and so we stand on this precipice, gazing into the uncertain but thrilling horizon. The question lingers like incense in a cathedral. Will this bold affirmation propel the Windsors into their most relatable era yet? A monarchy more in tune with the people than ever before? Or could it upset the delicate balance between tradition and transformation, risking the sacred rhythms of succession in favor of a dangerous experiment? For now, Charles's words serve as both anchor and compass, guiding a ship buffeted by health tempests and diplomatic gales. The reminder is clear. The monarchy's true strength lies not in marble statues or gilded carriages, but in its people, resilient, evolving, profoundly human. And for Catherine, this is nothing less than the dawn of her defining chapter, a chapter where she doesn't just wear the title, but lives it, embodying a crown that beats with empathy, with conviction, and with hope. Hers is a story that dares a nation to believe in second acts and fresh starts, all under the same timeless crown. Now over to you. Our devoted royal chroniclers, what do you envision for Catherine as she steps ever closer to Queen Consort? Does this feel like the perfect evolution for a monarchy in the modern age, blending heartfelt vulnerability with unshakable duty? Or does it venture too far into uncharted waters, potentially unsettling centuries of tradition? We're all ears. Drop your hottest takes, your wildest predictions, and your unfiltered reactions in the comments below. We pore over every single one of them, sparking conversations that keep this community buzzing with energy. And if this deep dive into royal reinvention has you hooked, do us a favor, smash that like button to show the algorithm some love. Share this with your circle of crown-obsessed friends who can't resist these palace plot twists. And hit subscribe with notifications on so you'll never miss our next unboxing of the Windsor World. Until our paths cross again in the next royal revelation. Keep your tiaras tilted high and your curiosity crowned. Stay enchanted, stay engaged, and above all remember, the throne awaits. Remember, the throne awaits.